Hello learners, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I will tell you a story that will help in spoken English. So, let's start the video. Title: A New Friend. Sarah was excited and nervous. Her family was moving to a new city. They had lived in the same house for 10 years, and Sarah had many friends there. But now, her father had a new job, and they had to move. Sarah's mother said, "It will be a great adventure. You will make new friends and see new places." But Sarah was not sure. She liked her old friends and her old school. On the day of the move, Sarah looked out of the car window. She saw the trees and houses go by quickly. Her little brother, Ben, was asleep in his car seat. Her mother was reading a book, and her father was driving. Sarah felt a little sad. After a long drive, they arrived at their new house. It was bigger than their old house. It had a big garden with flowers and a swing. Sarah thought the house was nice, but she still missed her old home. The next week, Sarah started at her new school. She was very nervous. She did not know anyone, and she worried that she would not make any friends. Her mother walked with her to the classroom. The teacher, Mrs. Green, smiled and said, "Welcome, Sarah. We are happy to have you in our class." Sarah sat down at an empty desk. She looked around the room. The other children were talking and laughing. Sarah felt shy and kept her head down. At lunchtime, Sarah sat alone. She missed her friends from her old school. Then, a girl with curly hair came and sat next to her. "Hi, I'm Emma," she said. "Do you want to eat lunch with me and my friends?" Sarah smiled and said, "Yes, thank you." Emma introduced Sarah to her friends, and they all talked and laughed together. Sarah felt happy and a little less nervous. One sunny Saturday, Sarah's mother said, "Let's go to the park." Sarah, Ben, and their parents walked to the nearby park. It was very big and had many trees and flowers. There was a playground with swings, slides, and a climbing frame. Sarah saw Emma and some other children from school at the park. Emma ran over and said, "Hi, Sarah. Do you want to play with us?" Sarah looked at her mother, who smiled and said, "Go ahead, Sarah. Have fun." Sarah ran to the playground with Emma and the other children. They played on the swings and the slides. They played tag and hide and seek. Sarah laughed and had a lot of fun. After a while, they sat under a big tree to rest. Emma said, "I'm glad you moved here, Sarah. You are a good friend." Sarah felt happy. "I'm glad too, Emma. I like it here," she said. One day, Sarah and her family were walking in the neighborhood when they saw a small dog. It looked lost and scared. Sarah's father said, "It doesn't have a collar. It might be lost." Sarah felt sad for the dog. She said, "Can we help it, Dad?" Her father nodded. "We can take it home and try to find its owner." They took the dog home and gave it some food and water. The dog was very friendly and wagged its tail happily. Ben laughed and played with the dog. Sarah's mother said, "We should make some posters and put them around the neighborhood. Maybe someone is looking for their dog." Sarah helped her mother make the posters. They wrote, "Found dog," and put their phone number on the posters. Then, they went out and put the posters on trees and poles. The next day, Sarah's family got a phone call. It was a woman who said she had lost her dog. Sarah's father gave her their address, and soon the woman came to their house. When the dog saw the woman, it barked happily and ran to her. The woman hugged the dog and said, "Thank you so much. I was very worried about him." Sarah felt happy that they had found the dog's owner. The woman said, "You are very kind. Thank you for helping my dog." Sarah smiled and said, "I'm glad we could help." After the woman left with her dog, Sarah's mother said, "I'm proud of you, Sarah. You did a good thing." Sarah felt proud too. She was starting to like her new city. She had made new friends and had new adventures. She knew that everything was going to be okay. One day at school, Mrs. Green announced a new project. "We are going to have a science fair," she said. "Everyone will make a project and show it to the class." Sarah was excited but also a little nervous. She had never done a science project before. Emma said, "We can work together if you want." Sarah agreed, and they decided to do a project about plants. They went to the library and read books about how plants grow. They also went to Emma's house, where Emma's mother had a garden. Emma's mother showed them how to plant seeds and take care of plants. Sarah and Emma worked hard on their project. They planted seeds in small pots and watched them grow. They made a poster with pictures and information about plants. Sarah felt proud of their work. On the day of the science fair, Sarah and Emma set up their project. They showed their plants and explained how they grew. Mrs. Green and the other students were very impressed. Mrs. Green said, "Great job, Sarah and Emma. Your project is very interesting." Sarah felt happy and proud. She had learned a lot and had fun working with Emma. She was glad she had made a new friend. As the school year went on, Sarah felt more and more at home in her new city. One day, Mrs. Green announced, "We are going to have a school play. Everyone will have a part." Sarah was excited but also a little nervous. She had never been in a play before. Mrs. Green gave everyone a part in the play. Sarah was going to be a tree. She had to stand still and hold out her arms like branches. Sarah practiced her part at home. Her mother helped her make a costume with green paper leaves, then thought it was funny and called her Tree Sarah. On the night of the play, Sarah was very nervous. She stood backstage with the other children, waiting for their turn. When it was time, Sarah went on stage and stood very still. She held out her arms and pretended to be a tree. The play went very well. The parents clapped and cheered. After the play, Sarah's parents hugged her and said, "You did a great job, Sarah. We are so proud of you." Sarah felt happy and proud. She had done something new and it had been fun. She was starting to feel at home in her new city. Sarah's birthday was coming up, and she was very excited. Her mother asked, "What do you want to do for your birthday, Sarah?" Sarah thought for a moment and said, "I want to have a party and invite my friends from school." Her mother smiled and said, "That sounds like a great idea." Sarah made invitations and gave them to her friends at school. She was happy when they all said they could come. Sarah's mother helped her plan the party. They made a cake and decorated the house with balloons and streamers. On the day of the party, Sarah's friends came to her house. They played games, ate cake, and sang happy birthday to Sarah. Emma gave Sarah a book about plants, and Sarah was very happy. Sarah's mother said, "This is a special birthday, Sarah. You have made new friends and had many new adventures. We are very proud of you." Sarah felt happy and loved.